Where is growth hormone produced in our body? Growth hormone is produced in a small organ called the pituitary gland, located deep within the brain. The pituitary gland is about the size of a pea, but it plays a crucial role in your child's height growth. Just above it is the hypothalamus, which sends signals to make growth hormone. When the pituitary gland receives this signal, it produces growth hormone and releases it into the bloodstream. These two organs are connected by a special blood vessel system called the hypophyseal portal system, which ensures accurate signal transmission. How do the hypothalamus and pituitary gland communicate with each other? The hypothalamus and pituitary gland are connected by a special blood vessel system called the hypophyseal portal system. Unlike regular blood vessels, this works like a dedicated communication line between headquarters and a factory. When the hypothalamus sends a signal substance called growth hormone releasing hormone, or GHRH, this substance travels directly to the pituitary gland without leaking elsewhere. Conversely, a stop signal called somatostatin also travels through the same pathway. Like a car's accelerator and brake, these two signals precisely control growth hormone production. Can you briefly explain the process by which growth hormone makes us grow taller? The process by which growth hormone makes us grow taller consists of 5 stages. First, the hypothalamus in the brain sends a signal called GHRH, telling the body to make growth hormone. Next, the pituitary gland receives this signal and produces growth hormone, releasing it into the bloodstream. It's secreted in waves, like ocean waves, about 6 to 10 times a day, with the most significant release occurring during the first 1 to 2 hours after falling asleep. Then, the growth hormone travels through the blood to the liver, where it stimulates the production of a substance called IGF-1. IGF-1 is the real hero that performs the actual growth work. After that, IGF-1 reaches the growth plates at the ends of bones. The growth plates themselves also produce IGF-1, which works together with the liver-produced version. Finally, when IGF-1 stimulates the cells in the growth plates, these cells divide and grow, causing the bones to lengthen. This happens gradually every day, resulting in an average height increase of 5 to 6 centimeters per year. What is IGF-1? How is it different from growth hormone? IGF-1, or insulin-like growth factor 1, is a substance produced in the liver in response to growth hormone signals. It's the substance that actually makes bones grow. To put it simply, growth hormone is like a commander's orders, while IGF-1 is like the worker on the ground doing the actual work. The biggest difference is their duration in the body. Growth hormone stays in the blood for only about 20 minutes before disappearing, while IGF-1 remains in the bloodstream for 12 to 15 hours, steadily performing its growth-promoting work. Like the difference between a sprinter and a marathon runner, IGF-1 ensures continuous growth effects throughout the day. Additionally, IGF-1 is not only produced in the liver, but also directly in the growth plates themselves. This dual system makes growth more effective. When is growth hormone secreted the most? Growth hormone is secreted the most during the first 1 to 2 hours after falling asleep. More than half of the day's secretion occurs during this time. And it's not just any sleep. You need to fall into deep sleep, called slow-wave sleep. If you sleep lightly or wake up frequently, growth hormone won't be properly secreted. Growth hormone doesn't flow steadily like tap water. Instead, it surges in waves about 6 to 10 times a day. It's also released during exercise or after protein-rich meals, but the amount is much less compared to during sleep. That's why the saying "you grow while you sleep" is scientifically accurate. What time should I put my child to bed for optimal growth? For school-aged children, it's best to put them to bed between 9 and 10 p.m. First, although growth hormone is released shortly after falling asleep regardless of bedtime, going to bed too late results in insufficient total sleep time. Next, school-aged children need 9 to 11 hours of sleep per day, while teenagers need 8 to 10 hours. If they have to wake up early in the morning, they need to go to bed early to get enough sleep. Lastly, a regular sleep pattern is important. Going to bed and waking up at similar times every day stabilizes the growth hormone secretion rhythm. In summary, going to bed early, sleeping deeply, and sleeping enough are the 3 principles of growth hormone secretion. I heard growth hormone is also released during exercise. How effective is that? Yes, high-intensity exercises like running, jumping rope, and basketball increase growth hormone levels. It's also secreted after protein-rich meals. However, the amount released during these times is much less compared to deep sleep. No matter how hard you exercise, it can't compare to the amount of growth hormone secreted during sleep. Of course, exercise is important for bone and muscle development, stimulates growth plates, and helps overall health. But from a growth hormone secretion perspective, getting good sleep is far more important than exercise. Ultimately, both exercise and sleep are necessary, but the biggest secret to growth lies in quality sleep. Is eating sweet foods before bed really bad for growth? The habit of eating excessive sweet foods right before bed is not good for growth. However, you don't need to worry too much. The biggest problem is that it reduces sleep quality. Eating sweet foods or overeating right before bed activates the body through the digestion process, making it difficult to fall into deep sleep. When the stomach is busy digesting food, the body can't fully enter rest mode. Since growth hormone is secreted most during deep sleep, poor sleep quality affects growth hormone secretion. Also, eating sweet foods raises blood sugar levels and increases insulin secretion. A persistently high insulin state can suppress growth hormone secretion. This is especially problematic in cases of obesity or insulin resistance. However, a normal weight, healthy child eating cake late in the evening on a birthday or special occasion won't stop their growth. The problem is the daily repeated habit. How should I manage bedtime snacks? Ideally, finish dinner 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. For snacks, eat them by 7 to 8 p.m. and only drink water after that. If your child is really hungry, give them something light. A warm glass of milk, a small piece of fruit, or a few nuts are appropriate. Let me tell you what to avoid. First, high sugar snacks like chocolate, candy, and cake. Next, greasy late night foods like chicken or pizza. Then, carbonated drinks or caffeinated beverages like cola and iced tea. The most important thing is habit. An occasional treat once or twice is fine, but the daily habit of eating cookies or ice cream every night reduces sleep quality and can lead to obesity in the long term, which is not good for growth. The key is regular and healthy eating habits plus quality sleep. How is it regulated when growth hormone is secreted too much or too little? Our body has an automatic regulation system called negative feedback. It's like an air conditioner's automatic temperature control. When enough IGF-1 is produced, IGF-1 sends a signal back to the brain's hypothalamus. It says, that's enough now, you can stop making more. Then the hypothalamus increases the brake, which is somatostatin, and decreases the accelerator, which is GHRH, reducing growth hormone secretion. Conversely, when IGF-1 is insufficient, the brake weakens and the accelerator strengthens, increasing growth hormone secretion. This produces more IGF-1. This way, our body monitors and regulates growth 24 hours a day. Like a car's cruise control, it slows down when going too fast and speeds up when going too slow. Thanks to this, excessive or insufficient growth is prevented and an appropriate growth rate is maintained. Does growth hormone only make you taller? Doesn't it have other roles? No, growth hormone does many different things in our body besides height growth. First, it's responsible for bone growth and strengthening. It stimulates growth plates to lengthen bones and increases bone density to make them stronger. Next is muscle development. It promotes protein synthesis in muscle cells and increases muscle mass. Then it promotes fat breakdown. It breaks down body fat to be used as energy, especially effective in reducing abdominal fat. It also regulates metabolism. It controls protein, carbohydrate, and fat metabolism to help the body use energy efficiently. Additionally, it's responsible for organ growth. It regulates the appropriate growth of internal organs like the heart, liver, kidneys, and lungs in proportion to body size. Finally, it also helps with nervous system development, immune system regulation, and wound healing. However, growth hormone is not a miracle hormone. For a child's healthy growth, all elements must work together, including other hormones, adequate nutrition, appropriate exercise and sleep, and stress management. What are growth plates and how do bones grow longer? Growth plates are special zones where bones lengthen, located at the ends of long bones, like above and below the knee, wrists, and ankles. Growth plates have several layers, each with different roles. First, in the proliferative zone, cells rapidly divide. Next, in the hypertrophic zone, the divided cells swell like balloons and grow larger. Then, in the ossification zone, the enlarged cells turn into hard bone. When IGF-1 reaches the growth plates, it stimulates these cells to divide and grow. Then bit by bit, the bones lengthen and your child grows taller. It's like stacking bricks one by one. The daily growth is truly minimal, but over a year it averages 5 to 6 centimeters. This is based on pre-puberty standards. You can't notice the change when you see them every day, but after a few months, you'll be surprised and say, wow, when did you get so tall? An interesting point is that the growth plates themselves also produce IGF-1. The IGF-1 from the liver and the IGF-1 produced directly in the growth plates work together to grow bones. What other factors affect growth besides growth hormone? For healthy growth, several factors must work together besides growth hormone. First, there are other hormones. Thyroid hormone regulates overall metabolism and growth, and sex hormones cause the pubertal growth spurt. Insulin and adrenal cortical hormones also affect growth. Next is nutrition. Protein is the building material for muscles and bones, and calcium and vitamin D are essential for bone health. Various nutrients like zinc and vitamin A are needed. Then sleep is important. Since growth hormone is secreted most during sleep, quality and sufficient sleep is essential. Exercise is also necessary. It stimulates bones and muscles, activates growth plates, and also promotes growth hormone secretion. Lastly, stress management is important. Chronic stress suppresses growth hormone secretion and interferes with appetite and sleep. Emotional stability is important. Growth hormone is just one of the key pieces of this puzzle. All elements must be balanced for a child to grow healthily. What is deep sleep and how can you achieve deep sleep? Deep sleep is medically called slow wave sleep or deep non-REM sleep. During this stage, brain waves show slow and large waves. The body is completely relaxed and you don't wake easily. This is the stage when growth hormone is explosively secreted. Let me tell you how to achieve deep sleep. First, a regular sleep pattern is important. Go to bed and wake up at similar times every day. Next is creating a comfortable sleep environment. Keep the room dark and cool and create a quiet environment. Then, maintain a bedtime routine. Starting 1 to 2 hours before sleep, avoid blue light from smartphones, tablets, and TVs. Instead, relax your body with reading, light stretching, or a warm bath. Also, control dinner. Finish dinner 2 to 3 hours before bedtime and avoid overeating and sweet foods. Additionally, avoid caffeine. In the afternoon, avoid foods containing caffeine like cola, chocolate, and iced tea. Lastly, daytime activity is important. Getting enough activity during the day and getting sunlight helps you sleep more deeply at night. Why is the hypophyseal portal system important? The hypophyseal portal system is a special blood vessel system that connects the hypothalamus and pituitary gland. Unlike regular blood vessels, it works like a direct phone line. Let me tell you why it's important. First, it enables accurate signal transmission. Signal substances sent from the hypothalamus, GHRH, and somatostatin travel directly to the pituitary gland without leaking elsewhere. Next is efficiency. Signal substances don't need to circulate throughout the body and reach the target point, the pituitary gland, directly, making it very efficient. Lastly, it enables precise control. Thanks to this system, growth hormone secretion can be very precisely regulated. The accelerator signal GHRH and the brake signal somatostatin are accurately transmitted, so only the necessary amount of growth hormone is produced. Like headquarters, the hypothalamus, and the factory, the pituitary gland, connected by a dedicated communication network, our body has a very efficient communication system for regulating growth.